Oh, no, I don't think so.
All right. Actually, let me. Forgot to stop syncing because that will take up all my bandwidth. Trying to get notifications to stop showing up.
It's amazing what age we're in, right? We're like 13-year-old me trying to do it on like a 28.8 kilowatt modem, right? Trying to connect. And we're like, no, we need more bandwidth on my gigabit
More than a gig.
fiber optic line.
I'm trying to like. Yeah, this isn't good. Would just be like every time I get like some sort of messages like pops up, and it's like I don't not now. Like I need to.
Yeah.
I'm like focused in here. It is all podcasts all the time. Yeah, but when I discovered that OneDrive thing, that was absolutely fantastic. Where it was like, okay, so I'm live saving my audio recording, and in real time, like OneDrive is trying to sync it perpetually. So I got like 6 streams like up and down. It's like, why is my bandwidth so bad? I don't understand it.
God, yeah. This is a great time. I'm gonna update.
Yeah,
I'm gonna sync everything.
This will be amazing. Wait, do we have rewards on our... Get rewards by purchasing or gifting subscriptions to New Dad Gaming's podcast channel while they're live in any category.
We can gift sub people, or we gift them.
No. So apparently, if somebody's like watching us live on Twitch,
okay,
we have some sort of Apple TV rewards. And then get rewards by purchasing or gifting subscriptions to New Dad Games. So if somebody subscribes to us,
okay.
But I don't think we've reached that tier yet. I don't think like anybody can actually subscribe to us yet. So I don't even know what that's about.
You're missing out. You're missing out on all this Apple TV.
Yeah, all that free juice from Apple. It's like, hold on, it's gonna be very meta. I'm gonna check our own. Ooh, I'll do it live on stream. That'll be funner. Here we go.
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's go here. Let's say twitch.tv/New Dad Gaming Podcast. I gotta make sure the audio doesn't go. Hold on, I gotta. Okay, it's not great.
Okay. Inception. Look at this.
Yeah, look at.
So many of us.
It's gonna be great.
So...
So I don't understand is like I can't like yeah, we aren't eligible for subscriptions yet. So I don't understand like why. It seems like a tease. It's like, oh, I really want this Apple stuff. It's like you can't
have it. Can't do it. You need more.
Okay,
people.
now it's gone. Looks like it was just a mistake.
Oh,
well, easy come, easy go. What can I tell you?
You were so excited there, though.
I thought maybe we got bumped up on Twitch. It would have been wonderful.
They noticed us.
We did it. All right, let's get the show on the road because we are.
It's all that excitement just choking you up. It's all there.
Live. The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old.
And gaming life and real life continue to bleed into one another and just overlap. This evening, we're recording a little bit late because I was off with my youngest, who was playing baseball, and usual fun stuff. And this is like just one above T-ball, so it's just silly. It's just like a bunch of penguins like waddling around terribly on the field. It's great, a lot of fun. They line up for the end to do the ye old handshake. It's like, slap each other. Hey, great, good game. Except it is now GG. They're slapping, and everybody's like GG. It's like, guys, like, so
that's
that
great.
Gamer parlance has entered the real baseball field. My goodness,
I can just see the chat window go down as the kids go up. GG. Love it.
At least no one said like get wrecked or something like that. Like, what's the other one where it's like
left the chat, left the lobby.
I don't know how. Okay, you used to be a counter striker. Like, what was some of the shorthand in it? I sort of missed all of that, so I wouldn't really know what to type. Can you recall it? It was
God,
been
I
a while.
can't recall it off the top of my head. It's gonna come to me though. GG definitely won. Um,
Okay.
but a lot of that was just like what is in that game. It's like what weapons you're gonna get, and it's just like the short
Okay.
forms for everything.
I got Google's our buddy. Here we go. Trevor Google something. As
Oh,
always at the
FF
show.
for sure. FF, yes,
Okay, so we have AFK, away from keyboard.
yes.
DC, disconnect. Like, are you telling someone else to disconnect, or like you're going to?
Yeah, I'm not sure that one bad game.
BG. Ugh,
No, I've
that's not
never
very
seen
nice.
that. Nope.
Friendly fire or
Friendly
forfeit on
Fire,
the
that
FF.
was always a thing.
FTW for the win.
For the win,
GG,
yep.
good game. IGN, in-game name. Oh, that's what IGN's for. I never knew that.
LFG is totally different from looking for group. Okay.
Yeah, sure thing.
Modern day is different.
Okay, we'll take Google at their word. Anyways, welcome everybody to the show. Going to be another great week for the both of us. I mean, it's we're recording this one in advance as we are both wrapping up the end of summer. I did not suspect I'd ever really say this, but I'm pretty excited for summer to be over.
Are you? Okay.
Why?
Why?
It's you're not like I thought you'd have my back on this.
I mean, I am, and I don't want to get back into the school routine where I'm making lunches and taking care of like parent council and going to teacher meets and stuff. That I don't like. I like my time. The kids are a lot, but so putting them in school would be great to get them out. But I don't like everything that comes with it. I don't know.
Maybe it's just memory hole. Like maybe you'll talk to me in a month's time and I will so
Could be.
terribly regret it. It's just we're at the dog days of summer. We're at the end of this. Like I'm just tired. Like I want some normalcy, like some ability to just like get some things in order and do the same things every day without like the chaos of summer and everything kind of roaming around.
Yep.
So yeah. Away from AFK, away from keyboard. Time to get enough of that. Time to get back off to school. We'll see. Now, one game that the kids and I have discovered this summer, and we've been playing a whole lot of, and I think this is going to maintain.
Okay.
You know, do try to have a reminder in a couple months to see if we've done it. But FIFA 24. So, yeah, like I think if anything, I think what kind of spurred it on is that it was a game that I was a bit more willing to sneak in some extra time. So call this the post supper, final hour kind of wind down before bedtime.
Yep.
And no, I don't want you to play Roblox. Like, no, we're not doing like the big nonsense, silly things. I'll tell you what, like let's play this soccer game. It's not so much because it's a chill game or like a relaxing game, but it's just it feels it's hard to describe. Like if you try to think about what Roblox is as far as bombastic, like constantly changing, like just blasting them into their face, trying to get them addicted to all these micro games, as opposed to soccer, just like actual sport. My son is playing soccer, so for me, it's also kind of like, hey, check out the positions and kind of like become a bit more familiar with the parlance. For some reason, and you can go ahead and tell me I'm a fool for it, but it just it hit different than just their normal gaming. Does that make any sense?
Yeah, no, that I think that works, right? Like again, you're bonding over something that you share and also real life as well as in gaming, right? And it's something that is a little bit more focused than the Roblox kind of everywhere, all aware at once, where there's multiple things and multiple games and pulled in all directions. So
Yeah.
this is kind of cool. I do want to know what platform you played this on, because I thought you were going to say it was on the Switch or something. I'm like, oh no, that's going to be a terrible experience.
Yeah. So thankfully, they did include FIFA 24 on the Game Pass.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
so we were able to get it for Xbox, and then we had 3 controllers. So then the fun thing we've currently been doing is like all 3 of us on the same team. So it's us together trying to defeat like the opponents. Like it's been fantastic. And as per the title I put on the live stream, it's like we are just bad at soccer. Like we're just the worst. Like we are really not doing great. Now I'll say that one thing I had to do, for instance, was I had to turn off penalties because we were getting red cards all over the place. Because the funniest thing to do is just to charge full speed and slide tackle everybody unsuspecting, and it just had them twirl around
Yeah,
as they flail
absolutely.
upon the ground. So as opposed to, learn how to play better, we just turned off penalties so that we could just slide tackle ad nauseum. And it really did improve the game for us.
I I can imagine it would. With the penalty bit, have
Hmm.
you ever what's the Mario one? Is it Mario Strikers or something? Have you
Oh
ever
my
considered that
goodness, that's
one?
right. Have not. I wonder.
Because that's all just fouls, right? Like you do like a super move and like
You're supposed to
I,
use fouls.
I don't know if there's red
Love
cards in
it.
that one. You just have fun. It's almost like a Rocket League version of soccer, I guess, or something like that. But
Did they release a? Okay, it is like a Switch version. It's not just like
no,
there's a brand new game.
there's an old 3DS one, I think, and then now this is the Switch one, which I think is just like redone in the Switch version of the graphics, which it looks pretty.
Hmm.
I remember playing the demo and the kids liked it, but I never got around to the full game. And I know Nintendo this is probably a chunk of money. So
Hmm.
if there's a demo floating around, you might want to give it a shot, see what the kids think.
Yeah, or if it's one that somebody's kind of selling a bit more on the cheap because it's not does not quite seem to be as popular. What I do love,
Yeah,
okay, this is an aside. Again, I mentioned that we're doing a live stream,
right.
so the title says like FIFA 24, and then we're watching like Mario Soccer. It's like, oh, this is like a FIFA. This is the FIFA that you wanted, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. This is what it is.
Oh, but that's a good get. I might actually look into it to see if there'll be a bit kind of a merger between almost like Smash Brothers and soccer. So I might
Very
enjoy
much
that one a bit
so.
more.
Yeah.
But it's been good. So like it's been a kind of a treat to be able to play this with them. Like it's been there's been a lot of great moments where it's like you pass, and then you get the goal, you're winning, everybody's just like high fiving and loving it. So it's been a nice bonding game, and I hope it's one that can kind of continue. At very least, like I said, it's almost a game where it's like a secret dad win, where they think they're getting one over on me because they're playing a game in the evening, but secretly it's like I want to do this with them. So it's
Yeah.
well, everybody's kind of winning.
Do you pull the like, oh, look at the time that you guys have to get to bed. This is don't,
It's
you know,
so
we can't
late.
do this every night. This is a treat.
This is a super special treat. Well,
Yeah.
like I said, they know to ask now about it. So
Yeah. Well,
I love it. Hey, gaming dads out there, do you have a secret game that you'll pull out more for your own amusement, be it a soccer, sports, or one that you're less concerned about playing with your kids as a little bit of extra gaming time? Reach out, let us know at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. Now, we had started the show talking about real life and gaming life crossing over, and you
yes.
yourself also had such an experience at ye old McDonald's. Why don't you tell us all about it?
Yeah, this was a random McDonald's trip. It was just one of those days where like I had nothing in the house to eat for lunch. The kids are home and it was more just we need something quick. So random McDonald's, they wanted a Happy Meal. So they're like, hey, let's just do a Happy Meal. It's fine because I have a teenager now and they're adults. Hamburger, toss an arm and a leg, and it's crazy. But this was a Happy Meal day, and I get them in the car. I'm like, oh, it's kind of a fun little, I don't know, it looks like a cat kind of box. They might like that. They like all these pet stuff, right? I get them home, they go
Mhm.
bananas because apparently it's Roblox Pet Simulator, and it's been partnered with McDonald's for, I guess, a couple weeks now, and it's like making the rounds around the globe because they knew the whole history about it and how it started in like this small part in the US and then it went to I think India and Canada wasn't getting it and it's been months and they've been waiting for it. Anyway,
That's mental. So, I want everyone to appreciate what we just heard. So, it's
yeah.
not just that Roblox, like McDonald's partnered with Roblox, the platform. It's that McDonald's, you're telling me, has partnered with a game, a micro game within Roblox, and
Yeah.
characters from that micro game are now purchasable with a Happy Meal.
Yes, and it kind of shows you the amount of people that must be playing this game for McDonald's to even bite with that, right? Because usually those Happy Meals are a draw to get you in the door to buy these things and to go back. And my kids were very much about collecting the little animals because it's much like the Pet Simulator game, right? You have to collect and buy in-game currency pets, and this Happy Meal gives you some in-game currency. So now we have a whole
Oh, yeah.
transaction system happening.
Just as if McDonald's wasn't addictive enough. Now they're adding in like in-game gotcha style mechanics into their Happy Meals that your kids can go and gamble basically inside of Roblox.
Yes, so much so that we have gone again in the same week, which we usually never do, Trevor. Like we do
Oh,
McDonald's
no.
once in a while, and we've
Don't
gone
say it.
twice
Don't
in
say
1 week
specifically. And
to
the
get
best part is,
this.
did they go with you and then as slightly older kids have to ask for the Happy Meal?
No, because they
Okay.
felt that I had the good luck to get the Happy Meal because you can get some of these pets that they wanted and they got good ones, right? But if they go, that disrupts the luck. So almost like that gotcha game, kind of like
It's like
everything's
real life.
RNG, right? Yeah. Yeah. So I went and got these Happy Meals and brought them home. And if, they didn't get what they wanted, then it's my
Your
fault.
Yeah. See, so you're gambling now whether you're going to be the hero or the villain of this whole story.
Yeah, that's right. Again, with Pet Simulator. Who would have thought this is where I am with the 14 and 11-year-old? But again, even just saying those age ranges, right? This is almost, it can be a smaller kid kind of experience with like, oh, look, it's a cute kitten, whatever, to a 14-year-old be like, oh my God, I get in-game currency with this.
Let's go.
Actually saving me a little bit of money because they're not ordering a quarter pounder meal. They're ordering a Happy Meal. So maybe it is a dad win. Just saying.
Yeah, I suppose. Man, it's hard, man. This is like really difficult. I'm having a harder and harder time contextualizing Roblox. It's to the point, like what I'm surprised about, and it must have been spoken about at this point, like why Roblox does not have its own console. Like it's
Yeah.
a piece of hardware, and the only thing that this hardware does is play Roblox. Because like it is not a bunch of mini games, like it is an entire universe, and like that by far, like I think at this point with my kids, like it is 60 to 70% of all of their game time in this one thing. Like I've seen popular streamers that I like. They used to play Fortnite. They used to play I don't know, like Magic the Gathering, whatever, and they just all switched to Roblox because there's just such this demand for it.
Yeah.
Like I'm having a hard time like conceptualize it. Like it is. I knew of it. I've seen it. Like I understand what it is, and I still even have hard time fathoming what it's become with gaming, especially with kids.
Yeah, I totally agree and can attest to the 60-70% of gaming time is spent in here. And I think the baby step towards maybe getting Roblox their own kind of platform or service that can be kind of thrown everywhere would be if you see this in the arcades. Because if this gets into the
Oh,
arcades in some form, I don't know if it's Roblox, the platform, and you get to choose a number of games with, the tokens you put in. I don't know. Or if it's just Pet Simulator, like one of the popular ones that gets in there. But that will be the true test if you start seeing these things, because we've seen Minecraft and all the other ones that
that's
have kind of
right.
like, oh, that's interesting, right? Like that's there. Why not Roblox? Or maybe it already is and I haven't seen it.
So I'd be because I know there's like Minecraft. Okay, so we're gonna do a couple searches here. We're doing it live. Gaming dads. We're making this thing happen. The thing that I pulled up on screen was Minecraft Arcade, and like I think you were referencing this when you just discussed this, right? Have you seen this in the arcades? The
Yes.
Minecraft yeah.
Minecraft Dungeons, yes, for sure.
And this one is nuts. Because for gaming dads who don't know, so if you go to a brick and mortar arcade, there's now this like big massive 4-stick arcade machine called Minecraft Dungeons Arcade. But not only do put in some tokens, play, that's great, but this thing shoves cards out. This prints cards
It does, yeah.
that you can then scan, and when you scan it, your on-screen character takes up that piece of armor, that like weapon or things like that. So there's this real life gotcha mechanic on this arcade version of a console game. And there's just so many steps involved. And what they're hoping is going to happen is that like, oh, well, I got to get the golden axe. So I'm going to have to keep pumping quarters into this thing so I can keep playing Minecraft in this machine
Yep.
to get a card. And it becomes this card playing thing. Like
right?
it's impressive. Like it is impressive, and it's just so borderline devious. Like I'm not sure how to feel about it.
It is really impressive. I'm surprised no other game has been able to implement something like that, because there must be like a crazy cost to printing out these cards and then being able to have like a reader for them, right? That just seems like so top tier of an arcade thing that you don't know if it's going to survive or not. And then now we're thinking maybe Roblox goes this way, introduces all these, maybe that's their tech that they run with. And now you have these Roblox machines popping up in Dave and Buster's or something. I don't know. Like, I could see it happening.
Yeah, so I'm giving a quick look, and I do not think Roblox has entered the real world. I suppose, like, if anything else, like, why would they? Like, anything you touch, any digital machine can play Roblox. Your phone, your tablet, your computer, your console. So I suppose in their way, it's like, why would we even bother?
They would almost have to be paid to be in there, because the arcade places would
Yeah.
benefit greatly, right? They'd have kids hanging out there all day. I know my kids try to get in their their gift shop, specifically at Dave and Buster's. They do have Roblox styled characters, so the merch is there.
So,
Let's see if
you
the
know,
game is.
you know what it'd be. So the flow is okay. Let's go to the arcades. But before we do that, we got to go over to McDonald's. We're gonna grab ourselves some like the Happy Meal that's gonna have the Roblox box that I'm gonna take to the arcade machine. That's then gonna print out the card to let me go back to my console at home, and then use it to get the in-game currency for Pet Simulator. It's making it, and then if I get a good enough pet, I can get $10 off my next Happy Meal.
You put that out in the universe, and now it's going to happen. Somebody is there
Perfect.
like taking notes. They're like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
They know.
if Roblox is listening, McDonald's is listening, arcades are listening, my consultation rates are very reasonable. Give New Dad Gaming at New Dad Gaming, newdadgaming.com. How's that for a pitch?
That's perfect.
This is kind of turning into like old men yell at clouds type of scenario, unfortunately for this episode, but
Sort of.
kind of just like summer sucks. Blah. kids today saying like gamer parlance on the gaming field. Blah. Roblox and Happy Meal. Blah.
We do it because we love it, and we're just giving other people a heads up. That's all.
So what we'll complain about next is YouTube Shorts. So YouTube Shorts has kind of scared me even. I would say, I'll put it this way. There's something, it's very much like it's like a gateway into TikTok and Instagram Reels, that entire realm of addictive, like highly visceral content that goes to the absolute base level denominator to get people to scroll as many of them as possible. So Shorts is basically just YouTube trying to rip off TikTok. And the thought that my kids would be exposed to it is concerning immediately, right?
Yeah.
So something I'm being very hyper vigilant about is like, no, you guys are not to have that app until like you're a certain age. Like, and I want you to keep off Shorts and everything else like that. Made it super clear. And now we're a household where YouTube was starting to cause a problem. Like, it was all innocent enough. It's not like my kids were searching on stuff, but you go down that YouTube rabbit hole long enough, you're going to get into some areas where parents will not want their kids to tread.
Yeah,
right,
for sure.
So that sets the scene. I am very concerned about that short viral clip type of stuff because it's very addictive, especially for younger minds. I think we've even gone so far as to delete YouTube from everywhere in the house because it wasn't really trending well. Unfortunately, the kids have tablets, and as much as they are the Chromebooks, and as much as I've locked them down, they had still found a way to get into a browser and get to the YouTube website.
Wow.
And then what do I come down to one day, and they're sitting there watching Shorts. They have these Chromebooks, which are basically just like full-size laptops, like turned sideways, and they're just like short after short after short after short. That they lost this tablets for the rest of the week. Because it's one thing if they kind of naturally, if it was already there and they stumbled upon it, but we had been very specific about like, you're not to be watching this stuff. Like, we do not want you having these tablets is a privilege, and with that comes some responsibility about respecting what we've talked about. So they lost it for the week, and I don't know, and not sure the summation of that story, but it's if anything, it just feels like it's going to keep encroaching on our lives. And as parents, if it's something you'd like to try to keep them off of, like, you're going to need to stay vigilant because there's lots of angles for them to get to it.
Yeah, I can. Did you? Okay, so did you have a moment of like when your kids found out a roundabout way to get to the YouTube shorts? You're like, hey, that's kind of a good problem solving. Like,
you gotta
good for
respect
you.
You gotta respect the hustle. You always gotta
Right?
respect the hustle. Like, I'm never gonna fault them for that in some ways. And again, like, I'm somebody who I kind of like a little bit of rebelliousness in kids, and so like
Yeah.
I want them to have a little bit of like spikes, in a sense where it's like much like we discussed, like when your kids are going out at night and
Yes.
they're doing some things that are a little bit cheeky. Like, you want to have some of that rebel rousing going on. So I didn't so much mind it, but it's more the explicit thing of like, hey, we talked about this. You're not supposed to be watching that in this house.
Yeah. And I can totally understand how specifically YouTube shorts can get troublesome, because you do go down this rabbit hole, and the way that things are connected sometimes don't make sense, and now you end up on this kind of alpha male kind of person talking nonsense, right? And some of the stuff can be quite damaging, I think, to young kids. With my kids, we allow it, so much so that my 11-year-old has Roblox running on half the screen, tiled with YouTube on the other half, learning how to do. And like, I understand it, because like they're almost doing like a tutorial on how to min max their game, so I let that fly. But some of the YouTube stuff, because we can see the history, they don't go into their accounts, they go into the family account, and when we have it on the TV, we can see the algorithm literally change with what the history is. And some of the stuff, we've given the freedom to view what you want to view, but if there is something that is catches our eye, we need to talk about it, and we do. So we bring it up, saying, hey, look, this one particular video is actually associated with this, and it's kind of disguising itself as something different. Let's talk about it, right? And then they go away or whatever, if that soaks in, if it doesn't, but at least we have that conversation, and then they can come down and ask us questions about stuff as well, with that age, because there's no way I can lock it out without them figuring it out. And then what are they viewing behind my back versus being out in the open, right? At 11 and 14, not underneath that. And it all varies with people's parenting styles, for sure. But YouTube is everywhere, man. Like, it is crazy. Like, you talk to like getting them back to school, there it is. Like, it's gonna be
it's just it's on the school laptops, like they promote it.
Yeah.
And I'll say this, like, hypocrite's not quite the right word, but I mean, like, YouTube by far is my most used site. Like, I constantly, especially when I'm doing some kind of drudgery at work, like, I have shows and podcasts and things kind of running in the background. Anytime I need to do something, like, YouTube tends to be my first and foremost go-to, right?
Yeah.
So I'm not a detractor of the platform. I adore the platform, but like, we're streaming on YouTube right now, by the way. Wink. Follow and subscribe. Smash that like button.
That's right.
Gotta get that in. I think what I do like about your approach is it. Okay, well, here I'll give a story. I can give a real life story, which we can then like relay into this, and this really truly happened.
Okay.
So when I was younger, my parents like really did their best to try to forbade like soft drinks and like candy bars.
Yes.
So they try to keep it away from us, right? So it's like, look, this like Coca-Cola, Sprite, all this stuff, like, it's really bad for you. Like, you really shouldn't be having it, okay? And these chocolate bars, like, it's nothing but sugar. Just like, get away from it, okay? Like, just don't do it. So that was constantly the message. It was like this push down of like, no, like, you cannot have Coke, you cannot have Sprite, you can't have root beer, nothing. All right, no, none of it. Get rid of it. Not in this household. No chocolate bars. Can't do that. Wow. And then at some point they come around. It's like, hey, listen, you guys are getting a bit older. It's time for an allowance. let's get you guys an allowance. You know, every week we're gonna give you $2, and you can do with it. You can save it for something big, or you can spend it. Whatever, it's your money. If you ever need help, let us know. But like, here's $2. Like, enjoy yourself. So first day they kind of hand that to us, and thinking nothing of it, we run out for the day with our friends and everything. And parents later on would tell the story where they go for a walk. It's like, let's go for a walk, and don't and aren't they passing the store downtown, the
Oh
convenience
yeah.
store, and who's out front with the biggest damn grin on his face except me with this big bottle of Coke and a chocolate bar? Like, yeah, I did.
Yeah, for sure.
The
For sure.
second I got any leash and ability, I bolted. The first dollar I ever received was immediately spent on this one thing that they had perpetually pushed down. No, don't have it. It's not good. You can't have it.
Probably at a quantity that they would never allow. Like you got
Oh,
this 2-liter.
just nonsense. And they just, you could just imagine like at some point if in the TV version of it, they said something like, "Oh, we raised some good kids," and then they pass and there's a child indulging in this thing that they tried their best to get out of. You
That's
can't
amazing.
script it better than that. But so the I'll parlay that into current conversation. What I like about your approach is that it is helping them with responsible consumption and
Mm,
contextualizing what they're watching. And it's like, hey, this video seems really polished and this person's very good at speaking. So, you know, it's going to sound like absolute truth, right? But
yes.
you need to be really careful about what you're taking in and like what that's about. And we'll say this specifically, this type of content does not lead to a good place. Like it's
Yeah.
negative or it's like off-putting, like it doesn't style good view, it doesn't put into you good like values and ideas for the world, you know. So it's almost like you're not demonizing the medium itself. It's more that you're, you know, preparing them to be smart consumers of it.
Yeah, we're trying to encourage like that critical thinking aspect, right? Like
Mm.
because my 14-year-old will rhyme off stats. Like they love stats, right? But a lot of those stats were like, we'll ask the question, where'd you pull it from? And it'll be a YouTube short and it'll be this person,
Mhm.
whatever. And be like, okay, did you double check that? Did you go off and say, hey, look, 80% of people do this? Did you find another site that says that stat? Right? Like, what did they say? Go double check it, then bring it to us, and then we could talk about it. That's great. But don't just take it in like like you said, just face value, consume it, absorb it, know it is your truth, and then push it out to other people because it may not be true, right? And
Mhm.
we don't want them to get to a point where they believe it so much that somebody says, no, you're wrong, and then they get upset because they've ingrained it in, like, no, that is my truth, right? This
Mm.
person that I watch all the time is my friend, and they said it's true, right? That's what we don't want to get to.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we're very careful about that. So yeah, it's a very dicey situation and it'll change on the fly. So you have younger kids, but like, yeah, like tomorrow it could be a totally different story where you're trying to
Yeah.
figure out the next issue.
Yeah.
So
What I'm excited about is I think we did. It's our parents did not have YouTube, right? Our parents.
no, they did not.
Correct. Where'd you
Yes.
get the source? Double check that like a source of information. Social media, YouTube, like this type of content information, they didn't have it. We grew up with it, but at a really, I think, a really good age. By the time we had it, we were kind of in college or like a little post college. By the time this thing's really took hold,
I remember high school, like, did you have LimeWire and stuff? Like, I
yeah. So
downloaded a lot of stuff and it was not labeled what it was. I think we were exposed to a lot more, and that's where like the
yeah,
dangers come in, right? Where we're like, no,
but for at
make
least for this,
sure.
but that was again, it's sort of like you're trying to get a song. Like there's like
Yeah,
there's an end as opposed to like an infinite scroll that
right.
then finds out that you're kind of liking this content and they keep pushing it a bit further and further because it becomes interesting. So,
Yeah, that's true.
but
It was
parents
a lot
now,
of effort
yeah. So
versus
I'll
the
tell you this. So we're up in Canada, and as best I understood it, we had one province that was a holdout. Our provinces are like states for our southern listeners. There's one province that was holding out, but they came in, and now, as best I understand it, every province in the country is now banning cell phones in schools.
yes, yeah.
Now, for anybody, I think it's like 12. I'm going to get the names wrong, but this is like relatively right. It's like everybody like 12 and under, none at all. And then for older kids, they cannot be on in classes. They can't have it on them in classes, but they can check them like during their breaks, like lunch break type of thing. And that feels like the right kind of policies now, where a generation that grew up with this and saw it kind of blossom into what it is and understands what it is can now make acute decisions about how to best address it with like a next generation. So as parents, I feel like parents of our age are fairly well equipped to try to help the next generation, like guide them down how to consume online content.
I'm on the other side of it.
Like, we're the worst.
No, and like I know we're going over time and stuff, but like I think when kids had their phones, a lot of the conversation was like, oh, they're on TikTok, they're messaging, blah blah blah. Where I think they're actually Googling to see if the teacher's right, and then the teacher has to answer to something that they're like, oh no, we're doing it this way because I said so, and other people are finding out different ways to do it. And like again with my kid, my 14-year-old going into high school, he actually just mentioned this tonight, that there's a bin rule. All the cell phones have to go into the bin at the classroom, which I think is crazy because that's an $800 piece of hardware sitting in there. Like, good luck. I don't know if the teachers do it, but he also needs a device in his, so he has an individual education plan. He needs something to keep him busy, and a device is one of those accommodations. So how do you give him that? None of his friends that.
Interesting.
And now he's looking up stuff for his friends and getting more distracted than what he would if everyone just had their phones. But no, I get where you're coming from. It is like, it's a lot to take on, right? Especially as kids and growing kids. And I think that comes down to parenting.
That's a fascinating perspective, because generally speaking, from my angle of it, very much was the less TikTok and Instagram and everything else in between classes. Like, don't be distracted and focus. But there is there's a great meme where it's some old person looking like a goof saying, it's like, oh, it's not like you'll walk around with a calculator in your pocket all the time. And literally, we have not only
I have it on my watch,
and access to everything, every piece of knowledge that's ever existed. So there is a benefit to them as well. But how would you bridge that divide around appropriate use for the context of a classroom, as opposed to something that would be a distraction or potentially lead into harmful things like social media and cyberbullying, those other pieces?
That's very
interesting. Like, I'm glad you pushed back on that. That's an interesting thing I hadn't thought of before.
I don't want the kids to be at the corner store with their cell phones out and a 2-liter bottle of Coke because they've been denied it.
You're like, listen, buddy, I'd prefer they have a cell phone than 2 liters of Coke. That's disgusting, sir. Fair point. Hey,
good fun.
We'll wrap it up there, though. A lot discussed. Like, gaming dads out there, if you have thoughts on phones in schools like that, or even like media consumption, especially YouTube and Shorts or TikTok for younger audiences, do you push back, much like Jeff did on myself, which is a really interesting point? But I'd love to hear about it. Reach out to us at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. We'll wrap it up there for the week. If you like the show, find us on all the major podcasting networks: Google Play, Spotify, Caster, Apple iTunes, anywhere where you find your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. What really helps the show, if you did like it, was a subscription, especially a rating and a message, a comment on it. It really helps out boost the signal to get out there to as many gaming dads as possible. Look, I don't like my kids on YouTube, but I like being on YouTube, and I want to blow up there. So spread the good word. I'd appreciate it. As I said, if you do have a story, if you have a quip or a comment on anything that we've talked about, something you'd like us to discuss, love to hear from you. Speaking with the gaming dads has been one of the greatest parts of this podcast by far. So do reach out to us. Like I said, bit of a repeat, but I don't mind doing so. newdadgaming.com or at newdadgaming on X and other various social media. Listen, everybody, thank you so much for listening. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have a 9-year-old and a 6-year-old.
And I'm Grumpy Dad Jeff with a 14-year-old, 14-year-old, and an 11-year-old.
And a 2-liter bottle of Coke, because damn it, my own money, I'll spend it on what I want. Remember, everybody, just because you became a dad
does not mean it's game over.
All right. See you next week.
Yeah.